Welcome back to Remember the Ages. Today we're going to look at a classic on the SEGA Master System, Alex Kidd in Miracle World.
Before we start playing, here's the gamepad for the Master System. As some of you have noticed, it looks a lot like the NES controller. They both have a D-pad on the left and two input buttons on the right. Button 2 will have you command your jumps, with button 1 working as your start and attack command.
Wait a second. I've seen that before. Does Luffy know the shell core technique?
Maybe Alex is still in training. So here we begin Alex's adventure by scaling the side of a mountain. Along the way, he has the use of the shell core technique to defeat his enemies. Notice how the first level progresses vertically instead of horizontally, like most games at the time. When Alex hits the water, he floats. Think of him like a buoy. To dive, just press down. Now, fighting is difficult because Alex needs to be really close to make contact. On land, he has slippery footing, and in water we also have to control his vertical movement, so there's bound to be some problems. At the end of the level, we get treated to a simple cutscene of Alex next to the map eating a rice ball or a hamburger, depending on the version you're playing. The map shows where the next level will be. I think this is cool because it shows our progress in the game. This makes me feel more involved with Alex's story. But before I get ahead of myself, I'm sure some of you have been wondering.
But Ages! What are these bags of money for? And what's up with this purple death machine that I can't kill?
Well, the Purple Death Machine is also known as a Grim Reaper. It is activated when you break a yellow question mark box the second time, or when you walk over a purple skull box. Your only option is to run until it leaves the screen. Now, there is a benefit. If you break the yellow question mark boxes early on in the level and survive his attack, reaching the next question mark box, you will be rewarded with an extra life. Now, these bags of money are full of bombs, the currency of Radaxian. The first opportunity to use the bombs is at the start of level 2. You come across a shop door that you can enter by pressing up on the D-pad. You can buy quite a few different items. Like, let's see, what do we've got here? What? No way. A motorcycle? I can buy a motorcycle? Sweet! Maybe I should pick something else up. I know, I'll pick up the teleport powder. With our badass motorcycle equipped, we're completely invincible. Well, except for pits, spikes, and red balls. Yeah, red balls. The ability to purchase items and vehicles like this really helps to set this game apart from its other platforming counterparts. SEGA wasn't pulling any punches with Alex Kidd. They wanted him to stand out. At the end of the second level, we come across our first mini-boss, and the main defining feature of the Alex Kidd games, Janken matches. Or as we know it, rock, paper, scissors.
Obviously, the goal here is simple. Paper beats rock, rock beats scissors, and scissors beats paper. The first challenger is Stonehead! Get it? 'Cause his head... Okay, crappy joke. But here's our first bit of information for the story. He is one of the 3 henchmen of Janken the Great, and he won't let us pass until we win 3 Janken matches. Well, what he really means is 2 out of 3 rounds.
When the music stops, then your choice is made. The loss of a match results in losing a life. It looks like every henchman you encounter has an initial pattern for what they throw. But tie or lose a round, and it's all up to chance. You could play for hours to learn these patterns. Or save yourself the trouble and look them up on GameFAQs?
So, we defeat Stonehead. And now we have questions like, who are these guys? And why are they after me? Gotta keep playing.
Our next task is to get across Octopad Lake to reach a small island called Bubbling Redlands.
You know, I bought some items earlier. We should try using one of them. The start button punches. So how do I get to the... Oh, right. If you want to access the pause menu, you gotta go push the button on the console.
This took me quite a while to remember. Growing up, no console I've ever owned used that type of feature. With the menu open, you are shown a map of your location, and at the bottom of the list are the items to choose from, along with how many lives and how many bombs you're carrying. Shortly after arriving on the island, you run into an old man who explains that you are a prince from the country of Red Axion, which you didn't know because you were kidnapped as a small boy. Your newly informed home is now being grossly misgoverned by the tyrant Jaken the Great. It is now your mission to stop him.
Alex Kidd was a representative of Sega as their mascot. Officially or unofficially, it's up for debate, until Sonic showed up in 1991. Alex was pushed aside for Sonic because his popularity couldn't compete with Mario's. The following games that starred Alex Kidd just couldn't match his first title on the Master System.
Even though Enchanted Castle on the Sega Genesis was a close match, it unfortunately is somewhat of a letdown when compared to Miracle World, but does stay true as a sequel. Alex Kidd is often compared to Mario, and I love how Sega took the incentive to not just clone Mario, but make Miracle World a unique platformer. It's awesome that Alex has vehicles available and gives versatility to the levels, and provides you a chance to complete the levels easier. Also, buying items is nice, and once you realize how to access the menu with the pause button on the console, tackling levels is much simpler.
The biggest thing that impresses me is the delivery of the plot. You start the game adventuring until you run into Stonehead, who challenges you to a Jaken match. You have no idea who he is, or why he's even challenging you, until you run into the old man on level 4, who explains your history and your mission to defeat Jaken the Great. Alex Kidd in Miracle World is a good game, with features that definitely stand out. The game is tough though, and you will be hard-pressed to make it to the credits, but it's no Ninja Gaiden or Super Meat Boy. You will find Alex Kidd is a little slippery, and his platforming can be a little difficult because of that, but that's just me nitpicking. You can find Alex Kidd in Miracle World on the SEGA Master System in cartridge form, or built into the SEGA Master System too. You can also find it on PSN, Wii's Virtual Console, and Xbox Live, among others. Now, I'm going to get back to this game and get my kingdom back.
骨のある戦いがしたいなら見せてやるよ。もう一つの戦法、ギアサード。